Breaking news, my country people. Nigerians no go gree for hunger and oppression again. E don happen o. A civic group, the Coalition for Revelation Corps, has called on Nigerians to come out in their numbers on Monday to join the protest against the hardship, the high cost of living occasioned by the devaluation of the naira, a result of the bad policies of President Bola Tinubu's administration. The group made this known in a statement and said although different protests had been going on in different cities, Monday is a time to generalize all these protests into an ocean of revolt. And Nigerians no go gree this time around for hunger and oppression. The group noted that the hunger, the unemployment, the insecurity, the high cost of living, the sundry forms of hardship have pushed the people to the wall of patience. And now is the time to fight back. So Nigerians are fighting back. CORE will be organizing and mobilizing with other civil society organizations and coalitions as well as trade union movements to deepen the unfolding popular struggle of the working people and the youth to breathe and live with dignity. The desperate situation that the masses are in today did not just happen. They are a result of the social and economic policies of the Nigerian state and the exploitative nature of the system, which has made the rich richer and the poor people poorer. So the poor people are getting poorer and poorer as the day goes by, dismissing the claims of the APC regime of President Bola Tinubu that these protests are sponsored by the opposition parties. The civil group said that they would be demanding for the reversal of the fuel pump price to the pre-29th May prices, the price control mechanisms in place for food items and also house rents, the stop and reverse free fall of the naira with immediate effect, and tax the rich and reduce the large amounts paid to public officers. The group argued that the multiplier effect of the fuel pump price hike in driving up the cost of living was a major reason for widespread hunger today. The people must not be made to pay for the insufficiency and corruption of the ruling class. The 4 refineries must be fixed within the next 4 months to avoid wasting scarce foreign exchange to import refined petroleum products. And on the reverse of the free fall of the naira, the free market floating of the naira has benefited only a few rich people with dollars, while making goods and services more expensive for poor people. The poor masses are the ones feeling the brunt of this free market floating of the naira. And they ought to put a price control mechanism in place for food items and house rent. This must be under the control of the people's organization, the trade unions, community-based associations and grassroots civil society organizations. This must be made in order to ensure it delivers to the people of the grassroots and not to some entitled rich people. So they should halt the restriction of the movement of food items from the north to the south. This artificial restriction by some governors will only compound the problems for working people in some parts of the country and create new ones. It will worsen food scarcity in the south and it will make it impossible for farmers in the north to sell their produce to gain revenues for other essentials apart from food. Because recently, a northern governor had instructed the farmers in his state to halt the selling of food products to other states. And the full payment of arrears of 35,000 wage award to all Nigerian workers from October. The payment of the wage award was agreed upon by the organized labor, and the government must fully respect that agreement, because the government promised this wage award to all workers, both the private sector, the public sector. Yet, these payments have not been made. Alongside paying the arrears, government must continue paying the wage award until a new wage award would be granted, which Nigerians will be living upon. So, a living wage is not less than 436,000 naira. And a built-in annual wage increment based on the cost of inflation index must be put in place, because people that are earning below 100,000 naira, how do they find it? How do they survive in this economy? It is very, very difficult for them now that inflation has taken over the working people. So my country people, the government must put measures in place to avoid people like some of the government officials stealing palliatives to help vulnerable Nigerians. And you note that when Tinubu came about this idea of this palliative, a lot of Nigerians kicked against it because they know the kind of government we are operating. They know that corruption is at every corner in our government, and it is not possible that that money will get to the people. Now look at what happened. Look at what happened with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Betta Edu. How she cornered huge sum of money, 500 million naira. Money that was meant to be given to the poor, vulnerable people. These people just grabbed and hijacked this money. The suspension of the minister is not enough. That money should be coughed out and be given to the people that money was meant for. Also, the reversal of the tuition fee increase in public and tertiary institutions, and all of that. There should be provision of free and quality education. That is the right of every Nigerian citizen. The access to education, to free education. Also, our health sector is not something we can brag of. So at this point, job security, fair wages, workplace safety for health workers. You see the Nigerian doctors and nurses, they are complaining, always embarking on a strike because of how the government are treating them. They don't have good pay. Most of the Nigerian nurses are fleeing abroad for a greener pasture. Even the doctors, they are fleeing abroad for a greener pasture because of the government. No stable wage, award for these doctors. So my country people, Nigerians are being urged to unite and fight until total liberation from the ruling class of the capitalists are won, adding that the people united cannot be divided. United we stand, divided we fall. And that is how the civic society have called on Nigerians to please come out in mass to protest against this government. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? I guess Nigerians have had enough, and they are saying enough is enough. No more to hunger. We cannot bear this hunger inflicted upon us by the Nigerian government. I'm dropping here, guys. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section.